or a little of everything. But exercise, exercise, exercise. Otherwise, your gut flora will be asleep at the wheel. So, I used to like that band. Lack of sleep. Lack of sleep also affects your gut flora. It makes your gut not work as well. It's not as happy. So, give me some sleep. And aging. That's what happens to everybody. Aging. So what happens as we age is the gut diversity goes down and the number of flora go down and the really strong, healthy strains go down. So it goes, you get more dysbiosis, which basically means gut imbalances and more leaky gut as we age. Now that can be prevented, that can be dealt with. I want to mention that. It's something we're all going to need to deal with. And the older gut is much different than the younger gut. There's actually one bacteria in babies called Bifidus infantilis. And I like that. Baby bacteria, Bifidus infantilis. And by the time you're my age, we don't see Bifidus infantilis anywhere in guts. And most of you don't, if we were to culture your gut, we wouldn't find Bifidus infantilis. Well, I found a source for it. To give you back baby gut.
I have a question about that. You're assuming that it has a beneficial for aging people. But what if it's there in infants because it's needed by infants, but as we get older, we don't need it anymore?
It turns out that in the older populations, we lose a whole bunch of very beneficial bacteria, and including the infantilis. We know that people are, the younger the body is functioning, you're going to have more likely to have infantilis there, at least a little bit, versus none of it.
Thank you.
Welcome. All right. So we also get greater dysbiosis with age. So we get greater dysbiosis. We lose our, gut flora, or we lose it into balance. That can be restored. But I just want to bring it out that the older gut needs more attention. Okay. Actually, I just read something that often we don't realize, but the gut is also having an impact on the endocrine system. No one ever really thought about, my gut flora is going to affect my endocrine system. Yeah, it does. You think about it, it's affecting everything else, but what about my endocrine system? It does. So there's several ways to test your gut and find out what's going on. My most favorite is the Biome test. There's some other companies out there. I like the Biome because I like where they're heading. I like what's in development right now. And you can find it online, biome.com. And it's a poop test, naturally. And you get the results back in about 2 to 3 weeks. I do like the Biome a lot. Actually, a couple of weeks ago, I was at a conference, medical conference, and I was speaking to the developer. And there have some additional features that are going to be unfolding very, very shortly, where they can look even deeper at the DNA and even deeper at the RNA expression, which is going to be really exciting. So a lot more data is going to be coming out of the test.
What kinds of things might it be able to point to or help? In other words, when you do a test like this, what's the benefit?
First of all, it's going to show you your gut diversity. It's also going to show you the level of inflammation in your gut, level of inflammation. It's going to look at your gut diversity. It's going to also take a look at the foods that your gut wants to feed you. It wants you to feed it, actually. So it's going to tell you what your body wants to be fed for optimal gut functioning.
How about the counter? Will it tell you what you shouldn't be eating?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
It tells you what not to eat. It tells you what to avoid. It gives you your superfoods, your enjoy foods, your minimize foods, and forget about it foods. So it's very good data. And I find that most people, when most people do it and they start living with a diet, the gut function improves. So now you can also do a comprehensive stool test, which will then look for things like parasites and amoeba and worms and other imbalances. So it's kind of a good combination together.
So is that the Cologuard thing that you do at home?
I've got Cologuard over here. So the 3 tests will be biome, stool, a comprehensive stool analysis, and Cologuard.
What's the difference between stool testing and Cologuard?
Big difference, okay? Because the Cologuard is looking specific for cancer DNA.
It's like instead of having a, what do you call it?
Colonoscopy.
Yeah.
And I really am not a fan of colonoscopies because 2 things. One is the prep wipes out cut floor. That's the first thing. And the second thing is I have had a number of people who've come to me who've had the gut wall, the intestinal wall ruptured by the probe.
Jesus.
So that has been known to happen. I've had several people. So if they did find colon cancer, it may be necessary to do a colonoscopy. So I'm not saying, no. I'm saying start with this first and also consider the Cologuard. I've done the Cologuard myself. Oops, touched my thing. I've done the Cologuard myself. I think it's a really easy test. It's a stool test.
And you can do it at home.
Do it at home. Just poop and go.
It's 75% cheaper.
And it's a lot cheaper and non-invasive and no downside to it and no prep.
You don't have to take the normal stuff.
No, just poop.
What's the name of
Cologuard. C-O-L-R guard. Cologuard. Guard. Okay? And it's a great little test. I've done all of these guys, but I'm slightly obsessive. Okay. Any questions of anything here?
But if there's polyps or something, they can't touch them.
But if you have the healthy diet, there's less of a likelihood of developing polyps, and also, if you're eating the proper diet, there's less likely that those polyps are going to develop into anything. So why are polyps forming in the beginning? Because in these ancient cultures, they didn't have stool problems. They didn't have gut problems, unless they were
They
formed
didn't
by.
have Donald Trump.
Okay, point taken. The only gut problems that they might have is when they were, horned by a rhinoceros. But our Western diet, our Western way of living, has increased gut problems. And so that's why it's time to go back kind of to the old ways.
So I knew what the Cologuard was, but what is the stool test information does that provide the biome does not?
Okay, it's going to provide, it tells you any parasites. It's going to tell you amoebas. It's going to tell you if there's nasties in there. There's,
Okay.
and it's also going to tell you if there's worms.
Sometimes people just say, why don't I assume that about that stuff and take some herbs to treat it? What's your thought?
I check it first.
Would you?
Yeah. You want to be gentle with your gut. You don't want to get too harsh with your gut. Treat it like a very valued friend that's giving you help. So I just wouldn't go ahead and treat for parasites unless I knew that there was a parasite. Because some of the stuff is pretty harsh. So be gentle, is what I'd say with your gut. Right. Okay, how do you feed your gut? Feeding your gut. Organic, first place to start. Organic. Pasture raised. Grass fed, the usual. Now what's really interesting about the Hazas is when I looked at their diet, they ate the whole animal, nose to tail. They wasted nothing. And I thought, well, that's very interesting. And so one of the things that we have lost over the years is we've really have lost the value of eating organ meats. And there's great, great value in eating organ meats. The organs, like, so I decided I'm taking kidneys and liver and heart and brain.
You don't have a lot of house cats that
Yes, but they don't eat there.
So I just last week, I said, okay, you know, when I was growing up, we had liver and onions once a week, okay? It was just like every week, liver and onions. So I went to Good Earth and I got myself some really high quality liver and I cooked it up with a whole bunch of onions and went, yes, this feels good. Not for you, okay? It's okay. I remember also as I was a kid growing up, we'd have a big pot of beans on the stove with a big ham hock in there that would cook all day. And then we would have big slabs of fat back. Okay. It was really tasty. I won't tell you about the can of bacon fat we have under the sink.
Well, the huts primarily
They're hunter-gatherers.
primarily carnivorous.
No. They eat meat, but they have a huge amount of fiber, which is plant-based. Not the steak fiber, but plant-based fiber. So they eat just tons and tons and tons of fiber and forage, wild plants. So they have a great diversity of plants in their diet.
I have a question about liver, because I like chicken livers, so I'll
Go for it.
And I would marinate them, and then as I got more aware of my food, I said, well, I don't know about livers here. What about the fact that they have this toxin filter?
Actually, if it's from a chicken that's been running around doing what chickens are supposed to do, that's a healthy chicken liver.
Okay.
So I'd say make sure you get your chicken livers either from the farmer's market or from Good Earth.
Yeah.
Okay? But it turns out this is a health food. You're doing your body a world of good eating chicken livers and hearts and brains and sweetbreads. Just try and wrap your head around it, pick one and take it for a test drive.
And lots of seasoning.
Lots of seasonings. Also, we used to have these big pots on the stove. You would go to the butcher and you get a whole bunch of different organs and throw it in a pot with a bunch of vegetables. It would cook all day. It was quite tasty. It was like a stew. I know. It's out there, but there's value in it. Because it turns out that it's got microbes, and these microbes are good for your body. Eat your microbes. I know it's a stretch. Consider it. Okay. So it turns out that, again, the Hadzas ate tons and tons and tons of veggies. So you want a lot of veggies. Now the secret here is variety. It's not like eating the same foods all the time. You want to have a variety of proteins. You want to have a variety of animal parts. You want a variety of vegetables. So it's variety. And so I've been going out there and saying, how many different vegetables can I try and get into my diet? And how many different kinds of organs and chicken and cows and everything can I eat? Just again, for the variety, for what it's doing for my gut. So I'm trying to pretend I'm a Hadza living here and now. So it turns out that as we age and the gut diversity starts changing and we're eating lots of animal protein, the body will start producing an enzyme called TMAO. Now TMAO it's been 100% correlated with cardiovascular disease. And they found that the greater of the diversity of the vegetables in your diet decrease the expression of TMAO. And what they found is that what the higher levels of TMAO did is it increased arteriosclerosis plaque formation. But when they gave them the lots and lots of veggies, TMAO did not express itself. And the other thing that modified the TMAO expression was high quality olive oil. So olive oil, high quality olive oil. So all high quality olive oil and veggies change the expression of this one enzyme, which is the TMAO.
Can you just, for a guy that doesn't know much about buying stuff, like what is a high quality olive oil mean? Like mainly a Good Earth or Whole Foods, or is it?
I would go to Good Earth. I would make sure it's organic, raw, extra virgin, cold pressed. Cold pressed. Those are my criteria. The best of the best of the best. Do not try and do a shortcut on your olive oil. No olive oil from Costco.
Cold pressed, organic.
Cold pressed, organic, extra virgin. You can find extra virgin if they exist. So the highest quality that you can find.
And probably California.
In California. Because the more you
Greece
can,
is a great one.
right?
Greece is a great one.
So the more and more you can buy a quality, high-end olive oil, the better. I myself do at least 2 tablespoons of olive oil a day.
What olive oil do you use?
I actually get a local one. I forget the name of it, so.
Yeah, I've always wondered how long olive oil can stay in my cabinet.
It's fine if you keep it, but the jar has got to be a dark glass. No plastic, it's got to be dark glass, and it needs to be kept in the cabinet. I always cringe when I go out to a restaurant and I see the olive oil in a clear container sitting on the table in the sun. That olive oil is going rancid. Don't ever use that. If you see it on the table, don't touch it. If they come out and going to pour some in your little bowl there and dip your bread in, I'll eat the bread anyway, but in the container's clear, don't touch it, that's oxidized. So light changes the structure. Light and heat changes the structure of olive oil. And also, when you start heating olive oil, it also changes the structure of the olive oil. Olive oil is best cold, room temperature. I prefer not to cook with olive oil. I cook with coconut oil, butter, or ghee.
Or
Ghee, clarified butter.
Avocado oil.
Pardon?
Avocado oil.
That is avocado oil. You also have to be careful with. Okay, so because coconut oil can stand high temperatures, butter can stand, ghee can stand high temperatures as well. But when you're cooking your meat, you always want to cook it at low temperatures because it also changes the structure of the meat, and it causes something called advanced glycation end products, okay, which is a problem. Okay? Fiber is your friend. So you want to go have it from a wide variety of different plants. As I said, the Hunzas have 100 grams of fiber a day. So fiber is your friend. Lots and lots and lots and lots of fiber. Again, a different variety of different vegetables, but you want real food for your fiber.
What are your top 5 fibrous vegetables?
A sweet potato spring. Okay, sweet potatoes are wonderful. They're great. Chia seeds are a great source of fiber.
what is?
Chia.
Chia seeds.
Remember those little chia pets? I used to grow one of those. But chia seeds are great. Flax seeds, hemp seeds, great source of fiber. Those are just a
What
few.
about celery? The vegetable?
Celery is a great fiber. Apples, fiber.
Lettuces?
Some fiber, yeah, but lots and lots of greens. I'm one of those people that, you've heard me say this before, lots of veggies into the blender.
Broccoli.
Broccoli's fiber.
Do you do juicing? Do you do that? Are you on the celery juice thing?
I do some juice and also some blenderized. But it's another way of getting a lot of fiber in you. If you do it in the blender with all the vegetables intact, you get more fiber. Okay. If you juice it, you don't get any fiber.
How do you feel about grains?
Grains are really hard in the gut. So, and especially gluten is very inflammatory to the gut. And if you take a look at our early hunter-gatherers, they really didn't have access to grains. They had critters and they had plants.
What about quinoa? It's a seed.
It's a seed. Some people can handle it, some people can't handle it.
Which one was that?
Quinoa. Yeah. I did my biome test and my body said, don't even think of eating quinoa.
I'm so disappointed.
It's like, yeah, I like quinoa. So just find out what your body wants. Now, fermented foods are a godsend. And fermented foods, and you don't need a lot of fermented foods, first of all. You do not need tons and tons of fermented foods, but you need some. You need some protein, lots of veggies, some fiber, and some fermented foods every day. But again, rotate your fermented foods. Get different kinds of fermented foods.
Can you give examples of those things?
Example, raw sauerkraut.
Pickles.
Pickles, you know.
Okay.
So, and it's best for your fermented food to be raw. Okay. Now, what fermented foods do is they remove the anti-nutrients from your body, like phytates. You hear that, you know, and this is a whole issue with the lectins. Lectins are the phytates, and the fermented foods remove the phytates. Okay? What did you say?
So have pickles with your bread.
Pardon?
I said, so have pickles with your bread.
No bread, just eat the pickles. But the phytates, this is where hear Dr. Stephen Grundy talk about no lectins, no lectins, no lectins. Well, if you eat some fermented foods, it helps your body deal with the lectins. So,
What word is that?
Lectin.
Lectins.
Lectin.
Lectins, lectins.
And what is a lectin?
A lectin is
What we do every November.
it's a substance that are in plants. Plants have them as a way to protect themselves from invaders, like bugs.
Okay.
Okay. And so they call it anti-nutrient, but it's called phthalates.
Well, it's really it's a poison.
It is a poison, but the fermented foods neutralizes it. That's the beauty of it. Fermented foods also binds basically the nasty stuff. So it serves many, many purposes. It also, fermented foods pre-digest your foods. And that's extremely important. So it doesn't put as much strain on your digestive tract. So if you pre-digest your food. And again, it rebuilds your ecosystem. And it increases your body's own production of antioxidants. Because this is a way of getting increasing antioxidants without always having to take antioxidants. So the fermented foods do wonders, and they make the body work more efficiently, work better.
Is it something you should eat with every meal?
At least every day. Doesn't have to be every meal, but something every day. And again, as I said, it doesn't have to be a huge amount of fermented foods. It's just some. Now, I am going
You mentioned to me just the other day that green bananas.
a green banana
Yes.
as a source of fiber, but I'm going to come to eat bananas in just a moment.
Wait, what?
I'm going to come back to bananas in just a moment. I've got more in store for those bananas.
Is a question, if the fermented broccoli capsules, one a day, is that enough?
Yes. Yeah, and Dr. Mercola has a few supplements which are fermented, which I like. And one is the fermented broccoli sprouts, one is for his fermented chlorella, and he also has some fermented medicinal mushrooms. So that's another way of getting it, yeah. So
What about kefir and kombucha?
now I'm going to come to that right now. Okay. Kombucha is full of lots and lots of sugars, and that's a slight problem because sugars are really hard in the gut. So Consumer Labs has done some recent studies about yogurts and so-called, fermented foods. It turns out that there's a problem with yogurt. And you only hear this, some of you don't. Yeah, I like this. Wrong. So you have to find something different for you. So when they make these yogurts, and that's pretty much every yogurt that's in the store, on the shelf, one, they're making it from pasteurized cow milk, and it's going to contain cow bacteria versus human bacteria. And I don't know about you, but I think cows have different gut floras than humans. So.
That's why a lot of people are allergic to dairy.
Yeah. So the other thing is they tested these different yogurts. They took a whole bunch of yogurts in the store, and they looked to find out if there were any live bacteria still available in the product. It was none.
Ugh.
So it turns out that what it starts off is, with the cultures don't survive for very long.
And that's true of kefir too.
Yep. Nope.
I think coconut yogurt is still good.
Coconut yogurt is okay because it comes from a plant.
Yeah, that's like $25.
It's so delicious. It seems like a pretty good one. They have a rice starch as the ingredient. Is that bad? Googled it, I couldn't get it.
I have to get back to you on that one.
What was the question? I'm not hearing.
Is rice starch a problem in terms of in a yogurt?
What about goat yogurt?
Pardon?
What about goat yogurt?
Still a problem. The species are just not available. Now, they also tested every single major probiotic on the market, and almost all of them did not have the number of organisms in the capsule or in the tablet that was on the label. I have a solution though. But that was really, really hair-raising for me, that people are just consuming tons and tons of yogurt and tons of probiotics. Unfortunately, it's doing nothing for your body. Okay.
Is there a brand new probiotic you recommend?
I'm going to get there. I'm getting there.
That's the solution.
There's a solution. I give you the problem, and I come for the solution. Okay.
That's an extra charge for the solution.
5 cents, please. So I did find one yogurt at Good Earth, and it's called Coconut Cult. And Coconut Cult has every major species in there. It's made from coconut, it's low in sugars, and it actually has measurable, survivable bacteria.
But it's very expensive.
$25 for
That's a big jar, but you don't need a lot of it. It's like a spoonful or two. Don't eat the whole damn jar.
It's not like, yogurt for breakfast.
No, it's like a couple of teaspoons full.
Uh-huh.
Okay? That's what I'm saying. You don't need very much.
But it does that have a good quality?
Yes, that's why I'm going to give you a solution. That one works, but you just need a couple of teaspoons.
Is it shelf stable long enough?
It refrigerated.
Yeah.
Okay. It must be refrigerated.
It's in the refrigerator?
Pardon?
It'll last a few weeks?
Yeah, it will. It sort of has survivable, because it has not been. So the problem is with when they make regular yogurt, they heat it, and the heat kills bacteria, and the bacteria do not survive. So you do not want your yogurt heated. Now, if you want to make it at home, you'll get the survivability. But I'm going to give you an easy solution. is get some coconut cold and just use a few teaspoons. Okay? So don't waste your time and your money on regular yogurt. I hate to pop everyone's balloon. My hair stood on end when I heard about that. I read that all this great yogurt that's out there, you're not getting the bacteria. You're not getting the flora. And it's like, why are they selling it? I think they don't know, but there's been clinical testing on this, making sure that there's very few flora left. And the thing about it is you don't want to give your body the same thing every single day. You mix it up. And that's the whole thing. People get in these ruts of eating. You need to mix up your prebiotics, mix up your fermented foods, mix it up, and use a little bit here and there. So it's not like eating a carton of yogurt every single day. Mix it up. Okay.
This is an aside, but I think it's important to mention the grill, what they cook with that.
Why don't you talk while I get some water? Watch this thing.
Oh, you want me to talk?
Yeah.
Okay, you got the floor. Okay, well,
You've got the floor.
it so happens that the good earth uses vegetable oil at their two grills, and that's high heat.
And it's an omega-6.
Yes, and omega-6 is really unstable when it's heated, so it causes cardiovascular